Hi everyone, my name is Paul De Cinque and I am the Chair of Brass and Music Education at the UWA Conservatorium of Music. I'm going to talk to you a little about Haydn, the composer of one of your set works for ATAR Music this semester. This won't be a complete biography, but a couple of pointers to get you started on learning a little about his background, his music and his style. So let's start with the basics. Franz Joseph Haydn was born on the 31st of March 1732 in Rohrau, Austria. His parents weren't musical, but Haydn showed early promise as a musician, and he moved to Vienna to sing in the St. Stephen's Cathedral choir at the age of 8. So Haydn's first serious musical appointment came at the age of 26, when he became the musical director for Ferdinand Maximilian von Morsen. He only stayed there for a short time though, before moving to serve Prince Esterhazy in 1761, where he worked until his passing in 1809. For a composer at the time, Haydn lived a full life of 77 years, much longer than his contemporaries Mozart and Beethoven. So Mozart and Beethoven, along with Haydn, form what we refer to as the First Viennese School. They were the main three composers from the classical period of Western art music. Haydn was actually Beethoven's teacher for a short while, and there was some interaction between the three composers, with Haydn being the oldest of the group. Now, you may have heard Haydn referred to as the father of the symphony and the father of the string quartet. Haydn composed over 100 symphonies and is one of the first proponents of the form. If you want to get a sense of his style, there are three really famous symphonies that you can listen to. The first is his final symphony, Symphony 104, which is nicknamed the London Symphony. Then you can check out his Symphony 92, the Surprise Symphony, and Symphony 49, the Farewell Symphony. Also, don't skip my favourite, Symphony 82, which is nicknamed the Bear Symphony. Haydn had an extensive output, including over 100 symphonies, 50 concerti, 84 string quartets, 24 stage works and 12 masses. He was a really busy composer. So Haydn's also one of the first composers to use sonata form to its full extent. I'll leave some video recommendations on sonata form if you aren't that familiar with the form, but Haydn used this form and standardised many of the symphony structures that we have come to understand as the norm now. He's also well known for his monothematic sonata forms, where he doesn't use two contrasting themes, but the same theme in both the tonic and the dominant in the exposition, which is quite quirky. In fact, quirky is probably a good word to describe Haydn. The famous musicologist Charles Rosen said about him that he was the most playful of composers. Now, us trumpet players love Haydn because he wrote the first concerto for the modern trumpet. The trumpet Haydn wrote for looks pretty different to our valve trumpet of modern times, but I'll cover that in another video. He wrote the piece for Anton Weidinger, the trumpet player in the Imperial Court of Vienna in 1796, and it took Weidinger 4 years to be able to play the piece in public. He spent 4 years refining his technique on this new instrument before performing it to audiences. The first performance was then in Vienna in 1800. So the concerto has 3 movements: fast, slow, fast, and it's in E-flat major. It was pretty revolutionary for the trumpet in that it has scales and chromatic lines and changed everyone's perspective on the instrument. It was written for a fairly standard classical orchestra with strings and a small woodwind, brass and percussion section. The full piece is about 15 minutes, and the third movement that we are studying is about 4 minutes long. I've made 2 other videos about this piece. In one, I'll walk you through the development of the trumpet, and in the other, I'll break down the form of the third movement in more detail. There are links in the description below to help you find those videos. So, I encourage you to go listen to some music by Haydn and get to know some of his important works, as well as the other 2 movements of this fantastic concerto. I hope you enjoy studying the Haydn, and best of luck to you for your ATAR music studies this year.